Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and thanks for tuning in to another epic battle in Total War Attila. This is a 2 vs 2, and it was a subscribers battle replay submitted by James the Great, and it is a very close battle. So I hope you guys do enjoy, and without further ado, let's take a look at the army comps. The first army on the battlefield today is the Roman Expeditionary Force, commanded by James the Great. And he's got 4 units of Fundadores, the slinger unit that the Roman Expeditionary Force can bring. He's got 3 in the front lines, and then 1 kind of held back for later, so we'll see what he does with that one. And on either side, he's got 1 unit of the Limitane Spears, so 2 units of the Spears total. And then he's got 2 units of these swords. They are the Federate, I believe, or Federati. And then he's got 1 unit of Scutatoi over here, which is Tier 2 heavy melee infantry. And then the best units that he has are the Bucellarii Guard Axemen. He's brought 5 units of them, which is a one-handed axe unit. And over here we've got the Bucellarii Guard Cavalry, and this is a very nice cavalry unit. And the general would be this gentleman right here, carrying the sword. And we just got to look at his cavalry finally. He's brought 3 units of the Bucellarii, and then he's got 2 units of the Cataphractii. So a lot of good shock cavalry, which Attila is definitely known for. And that is it for James the Great's force, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. The next army on the battlefield today, and allied to the Roman Expeditionary Force, is the Alans, commanded by Max Laser. And he's brought 4 units of the elite Salmatian Cataphracts, which is one of the best cavalry units in the game. However, they are quite expensive, but the reason that they're a good, solid cavalry choice is because they actually have bows, as you guys can see, so they are able to utilize a little bit of ammunition before using that insane charge bonus to charge into melee. And I find even if you are charging headlong into a unit that is in shield wall, they still seem to do quite a bit of damage. So he does have 2 units on either flank there, totaling 4. In the front lines, he's got 4 units of the Salmatian Band, which is his meat shield. And then in the center, we've got 4 units of the Alani Swordsmen. And then on either flank, he's got 2 units of the Agatharsi Warriors, totaling 4. So 2 units behind these 2 units of Salmatian Cataphracts, and then same on the other side. And his best units are in the center here. He's got 2 units of the elite Agatharsi Warriors. And then we've got this cavalry unit. I believe this is a melee cav unit. Yes, Noble Alani Cavalry, so he's got 1 unit of melee cav, which is held back next to the General's Bodyguard, which is the Alani General. And he's actually on a white horse, so he definitely sticks out. But the Alani General is also a pretty good, solid shock cavalry unit, so we'll expect to see him getting some good charges into melee. But that is it for the Alans, so let's go ahead and take a look at the 2 enemies. The first enemy army on the battlefield today is the Burgundians, commanded by Mecchio. And he's got his Burgundian spearmen here in the front lines, I believe 4 units of the Germanic Spearmasters. And right in behind, he's got 4 units of the Scattershot Hurlers. And his General's Bodyguard is over here. He's got the Burgundian Guard, which is a very heavy axe unit. Well, it says medium axe infantry, but they've got some pretty heavy axes. I would not want to be facing off against them in a battle. But he's also got some Burgundian Axemen. He has 4 units of them. And then we go to his cavalry, where he spent a lot of his money. He's got the Royal Lancers, so a lot of the players bringing some really solid cavalry to the battlefield, and really solid shock cavalry, I might add, as well. So he has 3 on this side and 3 on the other. And that is it for the Burgundian player. We've got 1 more enemy army to take a look at, and then we'll get the battle started. The final enemy army on the battlefield today is the Ostrogoths, commanded by USSR Grey Wolf, and he's actually brought the most skirmishers out of anybody on the battlefield, but he's also got the least amount of cavs, so we'll see how that trade-up helps him in the battle to come. But in the front lines, he's got 3 units of Germanic archers here, and then he has 3 units of Gothic Palatina defectors, and then he's got 2 units of Germanic crossbowmen, followed closely behind by 2 units of Thracian warriors. And they kind of match the Agatharsi warriors, but I think the elite Agatharsi warriors are more of an Oathsworn matchup. So it'd be interesting to see them in battle against the Alans. But the meat of his army is 6 units of the elite Ostrogothic pikemen. He's got quite a few of them, and arguably the best pikeman unit in the game, or at least I think so. But he's only got 4 units of cav. He has 3 units of the Noble Gothic Lancers, which is a tier 2 medium shock cavalry unit. And then he has his Gothic General, and you guys know how much I love these shields. Awesome, awesome looking unit. And there is the General right there. So that is it for all the army comps, guys. So without further ado, let's get the battle started. Alright guys, welcome to the battlefield, and as you can see, the Alans are moving up to engage the Ostrogoths, and if we look way over to the other side, you can see that James the Great is matching Max Laser's movement, so it looks like both of them are moving forwards to engage the enemy. Now, the only thing I'm worried about for Max Laser is these Ostrogothic pikemen, and you can already see that the Ostrogothic player is planning to play very defensively. He's got just enough pikemen that he's going to be able to form up a new box, and the only saving grace for Max Laser and James the Great is that it looks like the Ostrogothic's ally is not aware of this new box formation going on, and it looks like he is prepared to battle it out against the Roman Expeditionary Force. Now, the balance of power is pretty even. You can see the man count for the allies is 4,080 to 3,960, so the enemies are outnumbered just a little bit. Now, the only problem is that there's nothing really to match these elite Germanic archers here, or these Germanic archers, sorry. I believe they will have the range on the Fundadores that James the Great has brought, and unfortunately for Max Laser, he hasn't brought any skirmishers at all. So he is going to take casualties if he does come into range. You can already see that the Salmation band are being focused down. However, this is the best unit for Max Laser to throw away, basically. And look at the look at the Germanic archers already using about 10% of their ammo just firing onto the Salmation band. They are trying to focus the Limitani over here, but the Limitani are in a Testudo, I believe. And it looks like the Fiedorate are also in a Testudo formation, so they should be pretty protected from the archer fire. The only thing we have to be careful of is the Germanic crossbowmen fire, who do have the armor-piercing damage to really deplete these cheaper units. However, that's what they are. They are cheaper units. So I think James the Great is prepared to throw them away should he have to. Now, coming over to this side, I suspect the battle will start on this side just because Max Laser, I think, has to figure out how to deal with that new box, especially with the elite Ostrogothic pikemen. It's one thing to have the cheap Germanic pikes, which are like 170 florins, like super cheap, pretty garbage, but those are some formidable pikes, so they are going to be a challenge to deal with. And actually, it looks like we're going to have a charge here. The Fundadores, the slingers, are completely exposed. Good using fire ammo because the fire ammo is kind of effective against cavalry, but this is some pretty poor charging. There's not really any charging going on into the slingers. They almost walked into battle, which is very weird. So I don't think they were selected to actually charge the slingers. They may have just been moving in a forward motion. But there we go. We've got the Bucellarii Guard Cavalry, I believe that is, charging into melee as well to try to protect the slingers. Correction, these are the Cataphractories, so the Bucellarii Guard Cavalry are over on this side. And nice charges getting the Royal Lancers there in a pretty big hit. However, the Royal Lances on this side were in wedge formation, so I think they will have done the number on the Bucellarii. Yeah, already losing 8 men in that engagement. However, the Royal Lancers seem to have lost similar numbers. I'm just trying to watch and see if there's anything else going on this side. Doesn't look like it. Max Laser's just content to stay there for now. But the best part about this is that James the Great is going to receive the help of those elite Salmation Cataphracts. But here we go, another charge coming in, hitting the Bucellarii Guard Axemen on the flank. And now we've actually got the General's Bodyguard in melee this early on in the battle. That is a little worrisome for James the Great. But luckily he does have the backup of the Bucellarii Guard Axemen. And I think that is some of these Salmatians coming in to protect the Limitani. And here we go, 2 units of Scattershot Hurlers getting charged by the Noble Alani Cavalry. That is a melee cav, so that was still a really solid charge, killing about half of each unit in that one charge, so about 100 men killed. Has to be careful with those elite Salmation Cataphracts, though. They are pretty susceptible to archer fire, And let's take a look at this charge here. Not in shield wall. Oh my goodness. Just destroying that unit of Skutatoi. A couple of them will be getting up, but I suspect that they will be breaking momentarily with, yes, them down to 40 men, even less than 40 men. Quickly, the Limitani are trying to come in to zone in those Royal Lancers so they cannot escape. But now they are being outflanked by the Germanic Spearmasters, and here come the Burgundian Axemen in as well. I think Max Laser knows he doesn't want to throw his Salmation Cataphracts into that, because that's probably going to be a win for the Burgundians. Also here as well, shattering the Federate with the help of the Burgundian Axemen. Over here, though, I mean, it's pretty still looking okay for James the Great. The Bucellari Guard Axemen managing to break the Royal Lancers there. And with the help of the Noble Alani Cavalry, it looks like they are turning the tide against the Royal Lances here. However, the Burgundians very successful with their Axemen in helping turn the tide on this far flank. So now this cavalry has been freed up to go after these skirmishers, which are pretty undefended at this minute. But yeah, now we've got the Guard Axemen coming in. Looks like the General's Bodyguard also going to be charging in, hoping to break the Noble Gothic Lancers. Okay, interesting. So it looks like the Ostrogoths have tried to lend a hand here, but the majority of their forces are kind of just sitting in this box formation. So yeah, he sent his 3 units of Gothic cavalry over to aid his ally, but the rest of his units are staying very close to this pike box. And this has to be so frustrating if you're fighting it, especially with the elite Ostrogothic pikes that now Max Laser has to contend with, and he has no missile troops whatsoever, so he's not going to be able to skirmish them down. And unfortunately, it looks like James the Great has lost the majority of his skirmishers as well. Here we go. Looks like we've got the Bucellari Guard Cavalry coming in. We've got a charge from the Noble Gothic Lancers, trying to get into the backs of the Bucellari, but I would have tried to come around and get into the backs of the Guard Axemen if possible. But there we go. The General charging right into the lines. And I'm seeing some Romans breaking there. That is a little bit concerning. Old man. But yeah, well done. So it looks like most of them have been shattered. We got 1 unit of Germanic Spearmasters, but they are completely surrounded, so they will not be able to hold for long. But we've got the rest of the Burgundians coming in over here. And it looks like we've got a Germanic Spearmaster unit quickly trying to form up, but this is going to be a deadly charge here. Yeah, barely slowing down as they just destroy that unit and then move right on to the rest of the battle. So well done, Max Laser, helping out James the Great there. And looks like the enemy general is dead there. Yeah, so a good charge by the Bucellari, shattering the General's Bodyguard there. Well done, and the Bucellari Guard Cavalry still alive. Looks like he is going to go into the backs of the Burgundian Axemen here, which is pretty solid, but he has to get out of there quick because this other unit of Burgundian Axemen is trying to hold them, turning right around and getting a really solid charge into the Burgundian Axemen, but he is very depleted at this point. The General could die at any minute here. And there we go. So James the Great's General has been slain by the Burgundian Axemen. But now we've got the Bucellari Guard Axemen coming in, trying to lend a hand. Seeing a lot of kill animations here. And there we go. I think that is the Burgundians shattered. So that is the last of them. So now they just have to contend with this pike box, and that is why it's a much longer Attila battle than regularly, because I think they're going to have to try and figure out how to do this. And the enemy man count is now superior to the allies. So James the Great and Max Laser, although they did win that engagement against the Burgundians have done quite a bit of damage to James the Great force. You can see only has 3 units left. And Max Laser, I think, has lost about half of his cavalry, or more even. He's only got 2 units of the elite Salmation Cataphracts left. And there is a lot of ammunition still left in these Germanic archers here. And not to mention the Germanic crossbows. However, again, most of them being used on the Salmation band. Most of James the Great's elite units are untouched. And here we go. This is an excellent idea. So what he's doing is he's trying to get these units of Salmation Band into a very thin formation and then charge the sides of the pikemen. And you can see what they do is they immediately drop their pikes in an attempt to hold this flank. But I suspect that we're going to have some infantry coming in to lend a hand here. Yes, there we go. We've got the Elite Palatina charging forwards. So they are going to help out in getting rid of the Salmation Band. Yeah, and already they've been destroyed. Let's see if this one actually gets killed, or if it's going to be able to retreat. Oh, yeah, it looks like he is going to be able to escape. Is this one, though? Come on. Oh. He keeps trying to retreat, but he's kind of penned in at this point. And I don't want to be missing too much of the battle right now. I can't really focus on that one guy. Okay, so it looks like we got some more Salmation Band on this side. And yeah, this unit of Fundadores, they're pretty much useless at this point because they have no ammunition whatsoever. So I suspect James the Great might just charge them onto the pikemen. But we've got the Gothic Palatina defectors right here just in case they're needed to help. And actually, they didn't even make it into melee. They were focused down by some of the Thracian warriors throwing their Pila there. But it looks like the Salvation Band has returned from routing. And I suspect he is going to continue focusing this corner, although he's only killed 2 of the pikemen. And none of the Gothic Palatina defectors that aided him. But USSR, he's playing a little smarter now. He's actually holding fire with his archers and crossbows because he knows that he's already wasted a lot of his ammo against the Salmation Band. Here we go, another good charge into the side of these Ostrogothic pikemen. And again, here come the Gothic Palatina defectors to drive them off. And, oh, careful there. He's actually charged outside of the pike box, and Max Laser quickly trying to catch them, but unfortunately he's not going to be able to. He needs to stop this unit of Salmation Band, though, before they charge into the pikemen. And, oh, yes, that is going to hurt a lot of them being slaughtered there. Again, though, only Salmation Band, so not a huge deal, but still every man counts, especially when you're dealing with this pike box. However, a lot of them did get through to challenge the pikemen directly. You can see a few of them have had to drop their pikes to engage them with swords. But yeah, Salmation Band once again kind of cracked. And over here it looks like the same thing was tried with some elite Agatharsi warriors. Unfortunately, really didn't pay off for them, because they are wavering. We've got more Salmation Band on this side. And they're actually down to 105, so it seems like it's more effective on this flank. But honestly, I'm not sure if Max Laser is going to be able to turn this around. The balance of power does say that it's with him. And these elite Agatharsi warriors have a really good charge bonus. So you can see that they're actually cutting down a lot of the pikemen. So I think that he doesn't really care about the Gothic Palatina defectors at this point. He's just interested in depleting these pike units, because as the pike units lose their man count, they start to move closer and closer together, and that's going to start to create some gaps in the lines. Actually, these elite Agatharsi warriors are doing really well against the Ostrogothic pikemen. Now they've lost 30 men in total. So well done there. Oh, what's firing here? Oh, yes, the Bucellarii Guard Axemen actually have some ammunition left. Now, yeah, a couple of them are falling onto the pikemen, but again, the Bucellarii Guard Axemen have a really good charge bonus. So continually cycling in against these elite Ostrogothic pikemen is a really good tactic. If any of you guys are faced with the pike box, the weakest parts of a pike formation are the corners. And obviously, Max Laser and James the Great definitely realize this. Here we go. Oh, nice. So it looks like we've got some Thracian warriors coming in to to deal with the Bucellarii Guard Axemen. Now, they also have a good charge bonus, so they're going to deplete the numbers of the Bucellarii Guard Axemen very quickly. And I owe you guys $1 if I say Bucellarii Guard Axemen like 3 more times, because I feel like it's been, I've said it like 50 times this battle. But yeah, Gothic Palatina defectors getting a little bit depleted there. The pikemen down to 75. Over here, they're at 114. And there we go, the elite Salmatian Cataphracts. We're trying to focus the pikemen with their ranged attack, but the crossbows have seen them off. You can see that the Salmatian Cataphracts have lost about 20 men to their unit. And 10 minutes still left in the battle, and James the Great only has this final unit. Here we go, getting a counter charge there into the Thracian warriors. But because the general of James the Great has fallen, these axemen may be broken quite quickly. I don't expect them to kind of stick around for too long. Yeah, there we go. So it looks like James the Great's force has been completely destroyed. So it's down to Max Laser now to finish them off. Oh, dang. A slaughter for these poor Romans. Well, we got some of the Alan swordsmen here, I believe. Is that who they are? Yeah, the Alani swordsmen. Again, hitting these elite Ostrogothic pikemen in the corner, and USSR, he has lost quite a few men, cycling them in and out of melee like that, and we've got the crossbows trying to fire down on the Alani swordsmen.
Come and see how much I want to kill you.
Charging in once again. And, yep, hitting right along that flank. We've got the depleted Gothic Palatina defectors. They've been told to go back into melee. Yeah, these pikemen are really struggling. Their morale is starting to drop. 57 men, and Max Laser is already lining up some Alani swordsmen ready to move into the gap. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. So as the unit's man count is depleted, they start to move in more and more to the center of the formation, and look at the line, this gap that's starting to be created here. And this can be very useful for cavalry. We've got more Thracian warriors here. They are throwing their Pila, trying to go after the Alani swordsman, but he's actually getting a lot of friendly fire. Not good, hitting his own pikemen in the back there. Very nice. So yeah, we've got the Thracian warriors being committed into melee, but doesn't matter. The elite Ostrogothic pikemen are starting to waver, and this has really opened up the pike formation. You can see that USSR is trying to tighten his new box even further by pulling in this unit of Ostrogothic pikemen. But he's going to need to spread this one out, but he's worried if he does it now that he's going to be opening the way for the elite Agathyrsi warriors to charge in and just get a ton of kills while this pike unit does not have their pikes down. But yeah, there we go. So the elite Agathyrsi warriors managing to break 3 units there. And we've got the general's bodyguard coming in, and he is going right for the Thracian warriors here. A huge hit. Oh my goodness. And we've got the retaliation of the Gothic general immediately. And now I'm a little bit worried because Max Laser actually has the Alani general in melee. And I don't think he is going to be able to pull him out of melee. He's very depleted, down to 20 men. He does have some... Oh, there we go. So Max Laser's general has died at this point. The balance of power is still barely with him. 805 men to 1,305, though. So the man count is very much in favor of the Ostrogoths. Right, here we go. The Gothic general is now going to have to contend with some more Agathyrsi warriors. There he is pulling out. This is such a risky move. You guys know that this is one of my pet peeves in Attila. You have to be very, very careful if you're going to be withdrawing a unit from melee, because I think he had like 58 out of 60 men, and just drawing out of melee, he lost another 8 units, or 8 men in that unit. But in doing so, he's actually left his Germanic archers here in melee against the elite Agathyrsi warriors. I think he is going to send more of the Gothic Palatina defectors in, but the Agatharsi warriors are focusing this next unit of Ostrogothic pikemen. They're down to 63 men, and they're also being hit on this side as well by Alani swordsmen. So well done to Max Laser, actually hitting a pike unit on both sides, but not in the center. And you can tell that they are just getting slaughtered as they start to move in. And the Gothic general is trying to find some areas to hit the Alani swordsmen and the Agatharsi warriors, but they're always backed up by some of the cavalry. We've got the elite Salmatian cataphracts moving in, but unfortunately they did not get as many kills as the general. Nice job there, though. This unit of pikemen was wavering. They did steady themselves, but they're so depleted they're not going to be able to really fight effectively now. And this pike unit is just sitting here. It's not even doing anything. And this is the problem with new boxes, is as the new box starts to be picked apart, these units are dead in the water, because if he tries to move even one of these units, exactly like what I'm talking about, trying to move this unit here, Max Laser has units ready to go and to charge them in the backs. Here we go, though. Nice charge again from the Gothic general. I have to say USSR is defending his position very well. These elite Salmatian cataphracts pulling out of melee with the Gothic general chasing. And yeah, they've lost half their strength already. Oh, man. There we go. Elite Agatharsi warriors still there. We've got some Agatharsi warriors, elite Agatharsi warriors, and Alani swordsman. So he's pretty much down to 4 units. And there we go. The Gothic general feeling the might of that Salmatian cataphract charge. He's down to 21 men now. The Salmatian cataphract's down to 13, but they are holding. And where is the... I think that is the Gothic general right there on the white horse. His men have rallied around him, which is good. Oh, man, slaughtering the Salmatians. They're actually being hit by archer fire as well. He's going to have to be careful not to focus his general. And there we go. I think they have broken. Just a bloodbath over here. He is bringing forward this unit of pikemen, but there's really no need for that now. And now the new box has started to come apart. We've got the Agatharsi warriors on one side of these elite Ostrogothic pikemen being slaughtered as they're trying to readjust. And as soon as they readjust, these other Agatharsi warriors are just going to charge it in the back. But actually, I think he's just down to 3 units now. The balance of power is against Max Laser. It's 300 men to 500 men right now. These pikemen are starting to form up. Yeah, good call on withdrawing, because they would have dropped their pikemen in time, and then he would have lost a lot of that unit. Gothic Palatina defectors trying to chase them down, which is not a smart move, because now they are isolated away from the pikemen. And I think USSR does realize that, and he's going to try and get them out of there as quickly as possible. And he does have 1 unit of crossbowmen with a bit of ammunition still left. But yeah, now it's not so much of a new box. He's kind of just got a battle line formed here, and he's hoping to be able to use his Ostrogothic pikemen effectively. I'm waiting to see what this Gothic general does. Oh no, and he's moved forwards with his pikemen, but now the elite Agatharsi warriors are just going to shred that unit. Yeah, really depleting their numbers there, and just as they move to put their pikes down, the Agatharsi warriors pull away. And now the Gothic general pulls away as well. That is definitely going to be in victory of Max Laser, this battle over here. The Thracian warriors are way too depleted. This is very interesting. More elite Agatharsi warriors moving away again from the elite Ostrogothic pikemen. That has opened up his crossbows to be attacked by, are these? Yep, Agatharsi warriors as well. And now they're going for the Gothic general, who is going to try and charge into melee. I mean, they did get a decent charge off, but with how depleted he is, that's going to be a death sentence for the general. And actually, it looks like some more units in the bodyguard had white horses. It wasn't just his. So actually, I think that is the Gothic general, because did he break? Yeah, so he is broken. So with just 3 men? Where's the other one? He must have been killed. Or not, but anyways, I believe that is the Gothic general, so he has fled the battlefield. And now we've got the Gothic Palatina defectors fighting in melee. They realize they cannot run any longer. And now it's back even. This is insanity. 177 men to 191 men. Down to the last minute of the battle. So it's 2 units versus 2 units, but I think, yeah, there goes the balance of power. Max Laser, I think he does have this. The crossbowmen no longer have any ammunition to focus down these pikemen. And we're just going to zoom down into the Ostrogothic pikemen's point of view and watch them get slaughtered. Oh, man. And it looks like the other unit is just going to try and flank around and go after those crossbows. Actually, the crossbows have moved into melee, and I have to zoom out here really quickly because I want to see what this final man count is. 156 men. So the battle was won with 150 men. That is insane. Let's end the replay and take a look at the results here. So thanks very much to James the Great for sending this in. Actually, both James the Great and Max Laser sent it in to me, but James the Great sent it in first. And thanks to the enemies for partaking in the battle today. So looking at James the Great's force, 152 with that General's Bodyguard is solid. The Bucellary Guard Axemen doing fairly well. But, yeah, the Limitane Spears, the Foderate, and this poor unit of Scutatoy, which took a headlong charge. Yeah, they did not really do too well. And, I mean, the cavalry could have done a little bit better, but I think they were just outnumbered, being that we had the Royal Lances and the Ostrogothic cavalry fighting the Cataphractii and the Bucellari, so they were just outnumbered. But looking at Max Laser's cavalry, yeah, they did pretty well. Salmation Band did their job because they soaked up a lot of that enemy ammunition. And then the Alani Swordsmen doing solid. The Agatharsi Warriors not bad, but the elite Agatharsi Warriors is getting a ton of kills. Well done there. Looking at the Burgundians, 119 with their general, and pretty high kills on the spears. That is really solid. Also, Burgundian Axeman doing really well, and doing pretty solidly with his cavalry. And then looking at USSR Grey Wolf, all of those pikemen, I mean, they should have gotten more kills, but I think it was just the awareness of Max Laser and where to attack them and where not to that won him the day. Because usually these pikemen, if in a frontal charge, you know, if you're charging pikemen from the front, obviously you're going to rack up a ton of kills, or even pinning them down with one of the units of Gothic Palatina Defector and then moving an elite Ostrogothic pikeman in to aid the swords. They do rack up a ton of kills, but actually the Gothic Palatina Defectors doing pretty well. This unit of Thracian Warriors 277, which is solid, and good kills on those crossbows. But that is it for this Attila battle, guys. That is one of the closest victories that I think I ever had on the channel. 150 men remaining out of almost 8,000 total. So thanks very much, guys, for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this in the future. And I will see you in the next one.